Mira Business FM, where business comes to talk.
This morning on the Morning Drive, it's the real formula for getting rich. There you go. There's a headline. That will probably be the reel on Instagram, and then the rest of it, I have no idea. But there's a lot to talk about here. James Thomas is with me, independent financial consultant. Nice to see you.
Likewise. Good morning.
Good to have you here. So,
there's a headline. There's no pressure.
No pressure at all.
Secret.
Yeah,
The secret.
How do you do it in one sentence? That's all I need. Yeah. And then you can go.
Then we can go.
Have some
finished.
cake. We'll go home, drink some coffee. Everything will be fine. No, the idea here is what's better? What is richer, a high salary or good financial habits? Because there's a lot of confusion between the two.
Yes,
I think that's where we'll start. So a high salary can look rich. Right?
Yes, a high salary gives that impression. I'm earning lots of money. Must therefore be rich.
It's the financial habits that increase wealth, i.e. actually make you rich. And that's the point. So it's something that I think a lot of us learn really the hard way. Income, hopefully, is permanent throughout your life. It's probably not going to be that way. So income is temporary. There are going to be phases where perhaps you're not on.
Well, I think if
income
just as an aside on that, but I think it's an important point to make, and I think we've discussed way back at the beginning of these sessions that there's a question we often ask to our clients and prospects. And if you couldn't work for a month, what would you do? Well, I'd be fine. I've saved 3-6 months salary if I've taken the right advice. Okay, so what would happen if you didn't work for a year? Yeah, I'd scrape by. Okay, if that was 5 years, wow, that'd be really hard. Okay, if you never worked again.
Yes.
And you get that blank look, the concern. Well, that's what retirement is. Now, hopefully, as you rightly say, that you've been able to work and been able to earn a salary until that point. So when you make the decision to stop working. But of course, life isn't necessarily...
Life takes twists and
turns.
Mr.
And sometimes
Thomas.
it's not that straightforward and clear cut. And therefore, hence why we need a plan, a financial plan. Hence why I'm here, and this is why we've got so much to discuss.
Okay, well done and dusted. There we go. Thanks very much. But the point is, you're absolutely right. It's a really good way to make that point. Far better than I could, actually. Income is temporary, but the habits that you have, that you hopefully try and, inculcate with people, that's what's really important. So what I want to do today is break it down so that we can look at it in a way that really matters. So a real life kind of attitude towards this, okay? So good habits make you stay rich. A high salary is the way that you feel rich, and it's the habits.
That's
going to keep
so
reinforcing
well put.
habits.
Feel rich rather than actually being rich.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a point. Let me just put this to you, and I'll let you comment, because I've basically put together lots of different headlines. And I think lots of them you'll agree with, and if you disagree, fine, let's talk about it. A high salary without discipline, without the good habits, can lead to, and this is what we talked about last time, lifestyle creep. So bigger
Very
rent,
much so.
bigger
It's
car,
a common feature.
bigger everything.
You get a pay rise, a promotion with a better salary, or you get a new job. Great. But then suddenly you upgrade your house, you upgrade your car, you start eating out more. Well, whatever that percentage increase that you've been able to achieve through hard work, suddenly it's all going out the door as quickly as it's come in. So while your lifestyle has got better, so you've got a lovely house, apartment, whatever it may be, you've got a better car on the drive, in the garage underneath, you're going to nicer restaurants, so you're eating better food, but does that make you rich?
That's a very good question, and it's the perception of your lifestyle being better because there are other things that come with earning higher salaries, particularly if you haven't sorted out an investment strategy, or you don't have an emergency fund, because stress disguised as success eats away at you, doesn't it?
Very much so. That's a good little phrase. Absolutely.
Stress is. I was quite pleased with that. But it does eat away at it, and it is a way.
And almost
there's a wake up call coming.
Yeah, but it's increasing that stress.
Well, the more you earn, the more stress you have. Generally,
potentially,
often.
often but dare I say, a lot of that is self-imposed, because if you have then moved to that bigger house, so therefore there's a bigger mortgage or a monthly rent that needs to be paid. If you have upgraded the car and it's on a finance deal, well, then there's a monthly payment that needs to be made. That the house will then have bigger running costs to keep it going. Those restaurants, the nights out, whatever it may be, it all adds up. And very quickly you find your credit card is sitting at a much higher balance, is earning, or being charged, not earning, it's earning for the credit card company, not for you, that higher rate of interest. So suddenly, you have increased that stress level, when on the face of it, that promotion, that increased salary should be bringing you the opposite, financial calmness, because life should be easier because you have more wherewithal about you to
I'm
put yourself in a better financial position.
I think that's a really good point, because a lot of the stress of your working life you accept and you handle because you're building whatever you're building, family or future. You're building towards financial calm. The idea.
Yeah, that's absolutely the idea. You've put yourself in that stressful position, or more stressful position, with the plan being, I would assume for most people, the return of calmness because of the financial benefits that stress brings. But often we put ourselves in more stress because of the things we've just discussed.
Well, exactly. So a high salary without discipline can lead to those all of the above, if you like.
Yeah.
Good financial habits, even with a modest income or more modest income than the big salary and all the perks, lead to. Here's a few things. Let me just run through. I've got 5 things here.
Okay.
Consistent saving. Good financial habit.
Very much so. One of the key financial habits.
One of the most important things. Automatic investing. Just the idea that this is what I do, and it's regular.
I get paid on the first, on the second I save, for me.
Exactly right. Pay yourself first, that idea.
Yes.
Controlled spending.
Yeah.
Keeping to a budget.
Again, as we've always said, we're not here to say don't go out and do those nice things. That's very much not... Because, again, much like a diet where you restrict yourself so much, and the first few days and maybe a week or two, it's fine. But a month or two in, you're absolutely sick of it. So it's never that we say don't do these things, but in moderation, so that you can still have something left at the end of the month.
Yeah, the idea that the financial advisor kind of tells you off because you spend too much. That's
I don't want to be that at all.
You don't want to be that guy. But there is a reality check needed.
But there needs
to
be a reality check.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so good financial habits, even with a modest income, lead to, here's another one, next heading, if you like, low debt.
Yep.
Not... some debt, I think, is reasonable debt. Mortgage debt, for
mortgage,
example.
we always say, is good debt. There's again, I'm always hesitant to use the phrase, good debt, bad debt. But bad debt, very clearly, is things with high interest rates that typically have been accumulated through that excessive spending that we probably didn't need to do. That goes back to the points we've discussed in the past. Put it in the inbox, go back to it 20 minutes a day later, whatever it may be, but just leave it there and come back and actually ask yourself, do you need that discretionary spend? So but the high interest rates are typically credit cards, then personal loans, while mortgages are much lower interest rates because they're secured against an asset.
Yes.
There's a property behind it. So that's become your home typically, but it's something tangible. There's something that you can then enjoy and use long after you've paid for it.
Hence the idea of good debt. But, good financial habits, even with modest income, lead to low debt levels, is the point.
Yep.
The other heading, if you like, is long-term wealth building. And I think that's really important because all of the previous 4 lead to the long-term building for the future.
Perhaps been slightly controversial. One of the things, and rightly so for some occasions, the financial advisors have been accused of is long-term savings plans. But of course, most of us will be saving for the long term. But if we're in our 20s or 30s, a pension, you're not going to be taking it until your 50s or 60s. And then it's got to last you, hopefully, into your 80s or 90s. So, we're looking at as I make Tim choke on the thoughts of that. But yeah, it is a long-term process.
Yeah.
And those results also accumulate over the long term. I think often, again, much like that diet, if we don't see the stones or kilos falling off immediately, people get disheartened and go back to their old ways. And it's the same with, similar with what we're talking about here. It's long-term planning. It's that consistent, regular savings to build for our future.
And that's why habits beat salary every time. And that sounds kind of counterintuitive because most of us think, well, if I earn more money, then I can. But it's about the consistency, and that's what this whole kind of segment, I suppose, is trying to get across. Habits compound,
as does the interest. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. But salary doesn't do that,
because if we get into the habit, we don't even think about it. That goes back to then the automation, which again I think before I was a little bit hesitant of, but the things we do, we get out of bed in the morning, brush our teeth, we have some breakfast, we'll have a coffee. They're just habits that are ingrained in us. And what we're implying here, and it's very much the same, we need these habits for our financial futures to be the same. We need to ingrain them to the point that they just happen. And we're comfortable with that.
We've got about 10 minutes today.
Okay.
So in the next 10 minutes, well, right now, actually, I'm going to reveal to you the real formula for being rich. And I have a formula. It's not mine. I stole it off the internet.
Okay.
But I'm interested to know what you think of this. And actually, I'll break it down. Here's the equation, first of all. Income multiplied by habits, multiplied by time. That's the formula. That equals rich.
Yeah.
Long-term wealth. Okay?
Long-term wealth. Again, rich, different things to different people.
Well, it is. But, the idea of long-term wealth, that's generally,
Yeah.
let's take that as our kind of definition, if you like. So here's how it breaks down. So income is that like gives you the fuel, okay?
Yep.
Habits decide whether you're going to burn the fuel or build something with the fuel.
Waste it or use it.
Build up momentum. Exactly. Yes. And the time is the compounding.
Yeah. The continuing
that's the formula.
Addition of fuel to the fire or to the pot. Yeah.
Yeah, the more bangs in the engine, sort of thing, the power of the explosion, all that kind of stuff, I suppose. And there was a line under this that I thought I wanted to put to you as well. Most of us kind of obsess over what we earn, our income. That's kind of
it is,
really
and I think it's a human.
It's a natural thing to do.
Human behaviour. And again, because we're ingrained to be competitive, am I earning more than my next door? It's keeping up with the Joneses is the classic phrase in the UK.
Yes.
Am I earning more than my colleague or my peers?
Yeah.
And it's that obsession as opposed to actually, what am I doing with that money?
So we worry about income. So that's the first part of the equation. Wealthy people... I forget the site. I think it was wealth.com. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Wealthy people obsess over the next two parts of the equation, habits and time.
Yep.
And that's the key to
the key elements. Yes.
Wealthy. Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. That's how you do it. Thanks for listening.
All done.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
But I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. And sometimes you just have to be sort of quite stark. And again, I come back to this all the time with you, and I feel like I often feel like a broken record, but it's just being really honest with yourself. If I could not obsess over my income, and just keep working and work hard and keep building, and I got the great habits, and I do this for the necessary period of time, and that's in my head all the time, and I'm honest about it, and I keep the momentum up, hopefully keep earning, assuming everything goes well, ultimately, I'll be okay. That's where I'm going. Does that make sense?
Very much so. And again, I guess that formula really concisely summarizes what we're always trying to achieve with our clients and prospects, is to get them into a position where they are.
We should trademark it. Income times habits times time equals wealthy and happy and wise and all that kind of thing. But it's nice to be able to break something down, Because I think I'm the same as everybody. I'm thinking, I need to earn more money. I need to go and do. And actually, I have some reasonable habits, saving wise. I don't have, I'm not Mr. In debt. I don't have any high interest debt that I'm worrying about. So that's good. So mind fairly clear. I have less time because I'm older than I was last year, obviously, and the year before. But it gives me perspective.
It does. Again, another cheesy analogy is the tree. When's the best time to plant a tree? Well, 30 years ago. But when's the second best time? Today. It's just that to get into the habit of then having the tree, the sapling, tending to it, looking after it, feeding it, watering it. And that's what we're doing with our wealth. And that's the good habits that we need to get into.
Okay. So, final thing to talk about, 5 minutes. People who become truly wealthy do 3 things. Let me put the first one to you.
Yep.
Live below their emotional income, not actual income.
Oh, okay.
Below their emotional income. Okay. So the way you feel about your money. Is that a reasonable point?
It's probably one I haven't considered enough, but
it's from I guess it's US written, so it's targeted towards a very specific market and how people feel about money.
But it's that feeling. I again, if I'm guilty of anything, we get very black and white, cut and dry. This is what you need to do. But of course, there's always that emotion behind it. We are dealing with people, with feelings, with real life behind them, and absolutely, it's being in control of that emotion.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly the point. It's about control. Yeah.
Yes.
And whether you're able to do that, and that's a hard thing to learn. I'm not trying to say
no.
Oh, this is how you need to be, but that's something to consider. Another thing: invest automatically. So if you do that, you're disciplined. So you don't need additional discipline. You don't need to
because you've
punch yourself in there. Come on.
Yeah, I must do it. I've done it. I've automated it. The process is done. And hence, that's the pay yourself first, call it what you will. But it's happened. You've done it. And then it just takes that huge weight off your shoulders because I've done it. It's that task that you always put on your to-do list. Oh, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. And then you do it and you think, that wasn't so bad. And it's done.
Yeah.
And it's the same feeling or the same theory. It's just right, I need to do this, and then it's done, and then it's happening. You've set up that direct debit standing order from your bank account, and it just happens, and it's consistently comfortable. There's another cheesy line, so it's just an amount that each month goes, and it just happens.
It's the point at which you almost don't notice it. It's funny, actually. I was paying a credit card bill last night, and I paid my phone bill, and it just did it automatically by credit card. So the idea is to build up some points that I always forget I've got. That's a different story. And then I realised there was a little bit more to pay, and I thought, I can't be bothered to pay that now. I thought, I don't want to face because it's always that much money, and the balance, and I thought, I'll just pay it. And I paid it, and then I realised that it was gone.
Done.
Didn't matter.
No.
Why was I bothered? And why have I not learned? So the thing about this, the people who truly become wealthy do 3 things. Live below emotional income is the income times habits, investing automatically, so discipline isn't required. Times time. Let time do the heavy lifting instead of chasing those quick wins, and be in it for the long term. Which is, I just thought that all of this today, that formula is kind
really
of mirrors
powerful.
what you
It does
put forward.
Yes.
To everybody you talk to, I would guess. Yeah.
I hope, and I certainly would hope that that's how they see the discussions that we have.
Yeah, that's the hope. Okay, so that formula again, just so that here comes the Instagram reel.
Yep.
The real formula for being rich, James Thomas, is this equation: income times habits times time.
Love it.
That equals rich.
Rich.
In any language. Okay, so that's the idea today. But I wanted to run through all of those things because it's very kind of sectioned. And it's the difference between, the money you earn so you feel good or you look good, whether that's a perception of looking good or not, but actually getting those habits that are good for the long term. Reasonable?
Yes.
Okay, say no more. I feel like we've done everything here. We've pumped it up as much as we can. Have we not? James Thomas is an independent financial consultant. Joins us every, what are we now, Thursday?
Thursdays.
The weekend, I know. Appreciate you joining us, James.
No,
nice
pleasure.
To see you. Good
Likewise.
to have you here. Just a reminder of a podcast that you can get from Mirror Business FM. Crossroads is our global entertainment industry podcast. I think Dr. David Tully and Dima Magase from Middlesex University. They're live on Mirror Business FM, but wherever you get your podcasts as well. Luxury Breaks, looking forward to an episode of that tomorrow. Jacek Ziemek joins me. He's from X Motors. He knows his supercars and his hypercars. Tomorrow, we're talking to, I'll keep secret who it is, but somebody joining us from Yas Marina Circuit, who used to work for Ferrari in Formula One as well. So that's going to be an interesting conversation, because if you've ever listened to what Jacek says, he is a Ferrari fanatic. And I think that's a real thing. If it's not, I'm trademarking it. That is one of our podcasts, Luxury Breaks. Look out for that wherever you get your podcasts. It's on tomorrow at 11 here at Mirror Business FM as well.